The argument that it's classless and disloyal to put to cut CP3 is just stupid. The Clippers are giving him a lifeline, a chance to compete on a team in his final season, not just ride the bench. He will play, and the Clippers need to think of the future and not give limited time to someone who's gone in a year. And according to his IG stories, not happy. That from Paul Scheer. He joins us now, actor, comedian, podcaster, got a new YouTube channel out called Enter the Dark Web. Paul, I love the analysis on the Clippers. We are going to get right to it. They seem to be weaving a pretty dark web right now. All right, you've had time to sit with the CP3 news. How are we feeling?
Well, first of all, let me say thank you for having me here. And that tweet was before some news came to light. Because what I think we have seen here from the Clippers in a very definitive way is we have a no a-hole policy. And CP3 was being an a-hole. And they went in and they made a very difficult decision. This is like breaking up with your significant other before Christmas. You don't want to do it. It doesn't look good. It's not easy when you come home alone and you have to explain it. But it was the right move for the relationship. And I'm all for it because here's the thing. Are we having a little bit of revisionist history? Everyone's freaking out. How could you do this to CP3? Oh my God. Oh my God. This guy is the Chevy Chase of the NBA. Okay. He's not loved. He's not liked. He hasn't been relevant for many years. Now, is he a Hall of Famer? Absolutely. Does he deserve better treatment? Sure. But here's what I think happened. He was like, I'm done. I'm out this season. I'll act any which way I want. I am free and clear. And guess what? He wasn't. He got kicked off. I love it. I love it because it just says no one is untouchable.
We also have a very similar policy here on this show. Yeah, so you made the cut. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Some days I don't.
Yeah. Phew. Yeah. Easy. Yeah. Close one there. So you grew up a Knicks fan, correct?
I did. Yes. And I moved to the West Coast Knicks.
The West Coast Knicks. That very well put. So what made you make the plunge from a Knicks fan to Clippers fandom?
You know, when I moved out here to Los Angeles, I really wanted to have I love the NBA. And I wanted to have a basketball team I could root for. And it's hard. You know, when you're from the East Coast, all those games are happening at 4 o'clock. I'm not going to be able to watch those games. When I came out here, I wasn't able to afford like NBA TV or whatever it was on. I wanted to be here. I wanted to go to games. I wanted to have a team. I couldn't be a Lakers fan, be too bandwagony. So I jumped in on the Clippers at a really exciting time, too. It was right around Lob City, Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan. It's like it was an exciting time to be a Clippers fan. And I would argue it's been an exciting time since, and look, I will say, yeah, there's a lot of NBA fans out there that are brainwashed to not like the Clippers. I would love to talk to them about that.
Wait, what's your sales pitch to everybody? What are you telling
Well, here's
everybody?
my thing. Charlotte, New Orleans, Houston, Phoenix. It's like there's so many teams that are in the same boat, spending a lot of money, not having championships, but yet we are the punching bag. Does the Nets take as much hit as the Clippers? I mean, they did the most insane thing, and they blew up their team in 1 year. No one talks about the Nets anymore. They fired Steve Nash after 5 games in the next season. All I'm saying is people like punching at the Clippers because of what was happening in the past. But you look at the landscape of the NBA, they're just like any other team. You go, well, they moved in to LA when the Lakers were already there. Yeah, look at Brooklyn. I mean, again, it's not too dissimilar.
All right, so you host a podcast called How Did This Get Made? All right, so you feel free to include Caroline and I.
There's my wife, by the way. Sorry,
Hi.
out something. Hi, June. You're on Yahoo Sports.
There we go. So
welcome.
I feel like this is Caroline's and I opportunity to try and become your co-host. We're going to do How Did This Get Made, like the sports version, right? So we're going to figure out some teams. So if you were doing How Did This Get Made, the sports movie or the sports version, how quickly would you get to the Clippers? Would that be one of your first choices?
I think definitely in the top 5, right? Because they passed on Larry Bird in when they were up north. I forget, not Baltimore. It's Buffalo. When they're in Buffalo, they were like, we don't want to take this Larry Bird guy. So I feel like that's definitely a move. But I have to say, the 2 teams that would rise to the top right here would have to be the Nets with that superstar team, right? That team that barely lasted a season. And then right under that, I would have to go to the Suns when Matt Ashiba comes in and just blows up this team and just pushes it so far back. Those two recent constructions, I say are way more damning than what the Clippers did with Kawhi. Kawhi got injured, right? That's his oh, he's load management, all that kind of stuff, which I don't necessarily buy. I mean, he's injured. That's it, and but it's not like a disaster like those other teams are.
Okay, so let's continue this theme of combining your two passions of sports and filmmaking. So let's say
Yes.
this movie, your version of the Clippers movie gets made. What
Yes.
role are you playing in it?
Well, look, I'm a bald man, so I have to go play a young bomber. A young bomber. I mean, there's only so many roles that I can play, So yeah, I would have to play a young bomber. I actually do have a jersey that says Bomber Junior on it, which I enjoy wearing.
Perfect.
And one time was wearing it while sitting next to Steve Ballmer, and died for a picture on the court. Could not get it, but it's a good one.
Wait, you couldn't get the picture on the? Did he say no?
I felt too embarrassed. Look, I actually directed Steve Ballmer in in Serge Ibaka's cooking and interview show called "How Hungry Are You?" And I have to say, Ballmer, one of the best guys, came on the show the day that they let go or actually traded Pat Bev, one of my favorite clips of all time. And he flew in from Las Vegas just to do a spot on Serge Ibaka's show. Like, I love Steve and what he does, and every the way that he cares about the team is really interesting. I love what he did this week, where he basically told Ty and Lawrence Frank, like, look, guys, you figure it out. It's on you. I'm not going to just make these crazy moves just to make crazy moves.
So you mentioned Lob City earlier, obviously, and Blake Griffin, we all know, he's got the entire comedic career, right? So
yeah,
you had the chance to work with him on the Space Jam live read back in 2014.
Yeah, I did.
What hit you when you because you're looking at an athlete be a comedian? Did you immediately see chops there?
Well, look, Blake really showed off his chops when the NBA went on strike back in the day. He took an intern job, in quotes, an intern job at Funny or Die, and he started making all these videos and being in all these great bits. So Blake is exceptionally funny. I've improvised with Blake in an improv show. We've done this live read together. He's come on shows that I've done. Blake, to me, is just an untapped comedic talent. I think he's actually showing off more and more those skills.
He's hilarious. Every time I watch him on something on social media or a commercial, he's such a chameleon. He's great. And it sounds like you've had an opportunity to work with so many players and front office members in the NBA. Who's one that is actually like a closet comedian that maybe we as NBA fans don't realize?
Oh, wow. That's a really good question. I have to say the guy that I mean, there's so many good ones. Klay Thompson was very funny. Getting to see everybody hang out with Serge Ibaka was great, right? You get to see just see everybody kind of a little bit looser. They're not answering questions, in this, media setting, which I think sometimes gets people really buttoned up. I will say that I know for a fact Kawhi is hilarious, and people don't get that. I think the way that he plays the media is a very interesting way, but yeah, man, I'm a big fan. I think the NBA is a funny league. If you're going to put all the sports leagues together, the NBA is definitely the funniest.
All right, so how did this get made, celebrating 15 years as a pod? All right, you've seen plenty of sports movies. What are the ingredients of a truly awful, terrible sports movie?
Oh, a terrible one. Here's the thing. I think a sports movie is inassailable. You can't mess up a sports movie because we want to see the underdog win. The worst sports movies make you well up. You feel like you want to be there. As a matter of fact, I'm producing a movie that's coming out about curling, just because I'm obsessed about this idea of like a sports movie. It's it's about this like little Minnesota team that won the gold, and I just feel like it's such a ripe area because we're always looking for character arcs. We're always looking for great stories, and there's no better story than a person overcoming everything. It's whether it's Dennis Quaid as a pitcher who's 50 or whatever that movie was, The Rookie. We want to see it. We want to see it from Rudy. I have yet to see a bad sports movie, I think, with the exception of Air Bud 4.
classically bad sports movie,
Yeah,
of course,
love it.
as we all know. And it is so refreshing to hear you say that because Fitz is a known sports movie hater.
Yeah,
He
Okay.
I
hates
am.
sports
Mhm.
movies. And I'm the person, I will well up at Rudy every single time I watch it.
Right.
Doesn't matter how many times I've seen it. It's a classic. It's an all-timer.
So-
Sports, look, hear me out. I'm just saying sports
Okay.
by themselves are dramatic enough, right? Like if I really want
Right.
to see something dramatic, I'll just watch Notre Dame. I don't need to watch a fake movie about Notre Dame. I could just go watch Notre Dame.
I understand that. And I feel like here's the thing. We all get selective amnesia when we're watching a sports movie, right? Will they make it? Yeah, they're gonna make it.
Oh, I hope.
It's like every Rocky movie. I'm like, I don't know if they're gonna pull this one out. He does.
Spoiler
I would
alert.
say that, but I don't know what it is. I think it's like giving over to the idea. I hear what you're saying, like. But I also feel like the best commentators, the best stories are when you have there's some personal stakes to it too. Like a great game is a great game, but when you know the story of the players, I don't know. I think it just adds an extra element to the drama.
Okay,
Some
so
stakes.
we could spend all day talking about some of the great shows that you've been on because we're massive fans. But we're a fantasy football company in large part.
yeah.
You were part of the league, obviously. So
Absolutely.
were you a big fantasy football junkie coming into the league? Was that part of your background?
Here's the thing. I actually almost didn't audition for the show because I didn't play fantasy football. I watched football, right? I was a Jets fan. And you have to remember that when the league first started, fantasy was popular, but it's nowhere near where it is now. Like it has exploded since we started. I think it was definitely much more of a real deep sports fan thing. And now all of a sudden, I remember when we first started doing the show, the NFL was like, we want no involvement in fantasy. We find that to be like sports betting. Now, comically, where are we at? Like the NFL has their own fantasy site and everything is betting. So it's like that's how far we have come. One of the coolest things that happened though was the NFL never let us use like logos or anything like that. They didn't want to be associated with us except for Jerry Jones, who was like, I don't care. Have him come after me. And Jerry Jones came on the show. We shot at the Dallas Cowboys practice facility out here in outside of Los Angeles. Let us shoot with his players and everything. It was one of the best. I mean, that was the cool thing too. I know I said that NBA players are exceptionally funny, but we had so many great NFL players on our show who just killed it.
Whether you love Jerry or hate Jerry, he's gonna get himself and his team on the TV
Oh,
screen.
yeah.
On the camera.
Jerry
Any
was in
chance he
Landman. Did
possibly
you see
can.
that?
Yes,
Jerry was
yes.
in Landman giving like a deathbed monologue to John Hamm. I was like, what is this?
What can't he do? Get
What
you a
can't he
man
do?
that can do both, that Jerry Jones. Paul, you're incredible, and we really appreciate you joining us. So tell us a little bit more about your new project, Enter the Dark Web.
Yeah, so basically the show I do with Rob Hubel, who we started off doing Human Giant together. We perform a bunch together, and we wanted to make a show where we find the weirdest stuff on the internet. We have special guests, like this week, Jerry O'Connell's on the show, and we recreated a very famous commercial for a toy called the Oozinator, which was a gun that, and use your imagination of what it would look like, just shot out goo all on kids' faces. And this is a commercial that aired. And when you watch it, you're like, wait a sec, who approved this? And so we reenacted the Oozinator with him. We get to do a bunch of really fun stuff. It's just really like, it's the clips that you pass around to your friends. We just kind of curate the best ones.
Paul, we really appreciate your time, your insight. I hope the Clippers season turns around just so that you'll come back and you can gloat to everybody about being the Clippers fan that called it first.
All I want to do is just have a good competitive season. And I am thrilled that I can come on today after they have a very decisive win in Atlanta, because if they would have lost in Atlanta, this would have been a miserable call.
We appreciate your time. Everybody, check out Enter the Dark Web and check him out on social media at Paul Scheer. We appreciate you, Paul. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks so much. I appreciate you guys. Bye-bye. See you later.